thankful to be joined by our PennLive NFL Insider, WIP host, and, of course, former NFL player Jon Ritchie. Jon, good evening. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Yeah, hey, Greg. Good to be here.
I'm glad.
My first time.
Yes, it's a little bit of a complicated trick, but once you get it figured out, it's good to go. So let's dive right into it. You obviously will have your preview column on PennLive on Thursday, and you've been diving into this matchup all week. The Eagles 9-1 hosting Chicago. I want to start out first with Alshon Jeffrey, a guy that's drawn a lot of attention this week for his chance to play against the Chicago Bears after he spent so much time there. What do you think about his motivation angle? How do you think he's approaching this week? And are you surprised at all by some of the takes he's had on it so far?
Well, I think he's going to be extremely motivated. The Chicago Bears had the opportunity to keep him in town, and Ryan Pace supposedly offered him a deal that he chose not to take, and he moved on. And since he has expressed how thrilled he is to be here in Philadelphia, and the last few weeks especially, he has been over the top elated, talking about what a great situation this is for him. So now the Bears are truly struggling due to their lack of elite, high-end wide receiving ability, and they're watching Alshon across the way being the most targeted Eagle, and that's a guy that they sort of let slip through their fingers. So I have no doubt that the Eagles staff, the offensive staff, are going to feature him this week, that he will be extremely motivated, and you will see some new looks to try to get him the ball in the end zone.
Now, what about the other side of the coin? You mentioned that the Bears don't have much at receiver, but they do have some interesting pieces at quarterback, of course, Mitch Trubisky, and then at running back, Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen. What do you make of those guys? How can they attack the Eagles? Because it seems that if the Bears have any hope to unseat what has been a pretty good run for the Eagles so far, they're going to have to do it on the backs of those three guys.
Right. Mitch Trubisky, very athletic. He is sort of winning over his teammates. Oh, I guess it's Mitchell. He prefers Mitchell.
That's right. Yes, correct. Yeah.
He's winning over his teammates with sort of his grittiness and willingness to learn. They're talking about how he's progressing through his reads faster as the weeks progress. And they like that. And he's showing a lot of athleticism. When you look at that game last week, he had the Bears in position to push that game to overtime, basically due to his athleticism. I mean, running, against all odds, beating a defense with his legs, and then his arm as well, getting them into position to tie that thing up and having his kicker miss it. The team likes him. The team really likes Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. Jordan Howard last week, 125 yards on 15 carries. That's nothing to sneeze at. You've got people in Chicago clamoring to get him the ball more, as well as Cohen. So they want to run it, set up the play action for Mitchell Trubisky, give him some easier reads like that. But the problem is this Eagles defense is so good. They are so sound against the run. Everyone knows where their responsibilities are. They stay in their gaps. They're aggressive. They get upfield, but they know where their help is. They play as a unit, and they're tops in the league. They allow just 71 rushing yards a game. So I don't know what the Bears do in this situation. You want to run to set up the pass, but you're not going to be able to run, and you don't have the weapons to throw it. It's not looking good for the Bears.
Well, let's get into two things then that you do every week in your column over at PennLive.com. If you're not reading them, I'm not sure why you aren't, but you can find those PennLive.com. Head to the NFL page, Eagles and Steelers picks each and every week from Jon. The way the Eagles can win and the way the Bears can win. What is the one thing that jumps out to you for each team? Obviously, the Eagles are a big favorite in this one, but as we all know, sometimes the Eagles slip up in games you won't expect. So what are the one thing for the Eagles, one thing for the Bears to win this game?
Well, I think let's start with the Eagles. The Eagles need to continue to add wrinkles in their run game and plow the ball on offense. They've got three great backs in LeGarrette Blount, and Jay Ajayi and Corey Clement, the rookie, undrafted. They're second in the league in rushing, and they continue to evolve, and their offensive line is doing so well. So keep pounding the ball, allow Carson Wentz to get them in the proper runs for the proper looks. And then when Carson decides to drop back, they continue to protect him, and he's an absolute sniper. So their offense is rolling, and their defense is nasty. So they're in a great spot.
All right, 2 final questions, John. Do you want to mention anything quick on the Bears? Is there any real way they can win this game in your mind?
I think they need to do a lot of group prayer on the side. No, really, I think that sticking with the run is something that no team has done this year against this Eagles squad because they are so good against the run. But then last week, the Cowboys, they ran it 27 times, 27 called runs. And I think that's what you have to try to do. Mm-hmm. Stick with it against the odds. And like I said, do a lot of praying. That
makes sense. All right, 2 final questions for you. The first one, stores are still open in Philadelphia and elsewhere. The one side dish that Eagles fans should have for Thanksgiving that they may not have yet. And then secondly, the most important one, your prediction for this weekend's matchup.
Side dish that Eagles fans need for this Thanksgiving. Wow. That's a great question. So my favorite, I guess, this time of year, is stuffing considered a side dish?
It can be, absolutely. Yep.
We are stuffed. This team is stuffing so much incredible play into 60 minutes, just stuffed full of good stuff, chock full.
Yes.
I love stuffing. So get as much stuffing as you can into you, inside a bird or not. And my prediction for this game is the Eagles 38, the Bears 10.
All right. That is Jon Ritchie. He is a midday host, WIP. You can also find him, the NFL Insider for PennLive. John, have a great Thanksgiving. We look forward to reading and hearing from you soon. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Greg. See ya.